Hi, I am Joseph Gergis. I am the CEO of Agilix Enterprises. As the CEO, I'm responsible for the corporate vision and the corporate operations of Agilix Enterprises. And one of the key things that we are very attracted to is the concept of new media and using the internet as a venue for artists to be able to display their works. So one of the divisions that I'm working on currently is our Agilix Music division, and I myself am a musician. Now, as a musician myself, I want a way to promote my music outside of the traditional venue of the music record labels that we've all known for many, many years. With the advent of the internet and other distribution systems, I think that there's a better way to get music out there, not just for music's sake, but also for other purposes as well. This past February, I entered into a challenge of sorts. It's known as the RPM Challenge, the Record Producing Month Challenge, and naturally, we have to pick the shortest month to produce an entire album. So, what a day for me looked like was mostly composing at night. That was when I had the availability to actually sit down and really compose things. And that was both during weekdays and weekends. And what I would do is I would spend many, many hours tweaking and actually working on the various songs I was working with. And I would spend good portions of my daytime listening to it over and over, trying to refine and trying to improve the technique for the album that I was designing. I think as a composer, one of the hardest challenges you have to face, especially if you're a working musician, is the concept of the deadline. You may be working on a television advertisement or TV program. You might be working on a movie. You may even just be working on an album you have to get out in a certain amount of time, like I did. And the biggest problem is, what do you do when inspiration runs out? What do you do when you have no idea where to go? I think that's the challenge that as an artist you have to really focus and realize there's always enough work to do. So if you get stuck doing one thing, clear your mind, go do something else for a while, and then come back to it. And for me, that has worked most effectively. There is often more than enough work between composition, mix down, editing, EQ, and all of the other distribution issues that you have in getting an album from concept to online. Now, if you want to actually go and get into this, if you really want to be involved, my first advice from a music perspective is learn an instrument. So for example, if you're playing guitar, understand why the guitar works in a 4-piece set. If you're playing keyboards, learn how keyboards are an accent as opposed to washing out everything else that's around you. Same thing with an orchestra. Once you've done that, learn the software that's out there, because everything that's being done today musically, whether it is orchestral, or electronic, or rock, is all being tweaked through software. You'll hear the name Pro Tools come up. I've mentioned Propellerhead's Reason and Record. There's Cubase and Cakewalk. There's tons of software out there, and you're going to encounter it. Pick one, learn it well. That's a good skill to have. And lastly, love what you do. Seriously, love what you do, because if you don't, the days that it gets hard, you'll quit. And that's not a position you want to be in. I think the big thing about rewards goes back to what I said about love what you do. If you love what you do, you end up being fortunate enough, and hopefully you get to do this again and again, that you produce something this beautiful. And when you can do that, and you can do that over and over, and you keep falling in love with the music, I think you've got the best job in the world.